introduction about you, and then we can start. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. Today we have Weijia Zhang, or Christy. We call her as a speaker, as a guest speaker, to talk about her admission experience into Harvard University. So she will be sharing a lot of useful information for anyone who is interested in studying abroad, especially like in the US. Yeah, just a brief information about Christy. So she's a Kunshan University bachelor's degree holder. We used to study together in the same class. I think Christy majored in major close to environment, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yeah, I majored in environmental science, public policy track.
Yeah, environmental science and public policy,
Mm.
which is one of the challenging majors, not easy. And then she went on to study at Harvard for graduate program in environmental health. Yeah, Christy was one of the great leaders of the university during her undergraduate studies. I believe she's right now as well a good leader at Harvard, but at DKU especially, she made very good contributions to the school community by making a lot of events. The first official report of Sustainability Club, which was a very nice, huge contribution, I would say. And she also has some professional experience, like interning at Deloitte, which is one of the finance consulting companies, Kion Elevator Company, which is one of the largest industrial companies of the world. So yes, with all these experiences, we are quite honored to have Christy speaking with us today. So yes, we would like to hear some, good information, and she will deliver it definitely. All right, I guess I'm gonna now pass the mic to Weijia, Christy, and finally let her speak. Yes, thank you for listening, and thank you beforehand, Christy, for joining today. And thank you all the participants for joining us together here to listen to you. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Thanks everyone for coming to hear this talk. And thanks for having me today. And I would give this talk about my journey from Kunshan to Harvard in pursuit of sustainability studies. So I also prepared a slides about myself, which Jeff has just talked about my experiences. I'm a recent graduate from Duke Kunshan University with a dual degree from Duke Kunshan and Duke, and now studying at Harvard. And during the application season, I got admitted to several prestigious institutes in the US: Harvard, Yale, UC Berkeley, Columbia, and Duke, and also got some scholarships from some of the schools. And I grew up in China, in Jiangsu province, Wuxi, Jiangsu province, which is pretty close to Shanghai. And I also went to college in Kunshan, which is also close to Shanghai. And I did one semester at Duke in Durham, North Carolina, US. And currently I ended up at Boston, MA in the US. Yeah. So today's agenda, I would first briefly go through my journey at DKU. This is actually, I want to share like some of the things I have done to prepare myself for my master's application when I'm in my undergrad. And also then I would help you navigate the application season by giving some general ideas like how you can get started. And then I would be specific on the admission process for Harvard, as well as how you could prepare for the application materials for Harvard and also for other programs you're applying for. And lastly, some general tips for how to build a competitive profile. So let's get started. Um, I would like to cover three major components of my DKU journey: the research, extracurriculum, and internship. So first of were the research experiences. Actually, I didn't really start very early to do some research in my undergrad. I didn't start it until the summer of my sophomore year, which is almost like starting my junior year, that at that period. And I applied for this summer research scholar research positions, which the school offers a list of the projects that you could work with the professors. And so I applied for one of the projects that I'm interested in. I just reached out to the professor, and the professor asked me a few questions about my background and also my interest, whether I'm really interested in the projects she is doing and how we fit with each other. And then I finally, fortunately, got in this research project. And then in my junior year, I continued work with the same professor on another project, which is, I think you could also think about this if you are doing something with a professor. You might, if they do have other projects at hand that you are also interested in, you might also talk with them about that. Um, and I also joined another research, it's a research center on the Initiative for Sustainable Investing. I've also been working as a research assistant in this center. So actually for this position, I didn't really get like this role at the beginning. I applied for their positions, but they didn't really want me to join. Maybe it's like the background are not really fitting very well. But I would like to say like I attended a few like lectures and workshops which are in the area in the field that I'm interested in. Then I met a few like the research assistants in this center, and like they know me quite well, and we talked with each other a lot. So then they asked me like whether I want to join their projects. So I think like just you can like find these kind of opportunities by showing your interest. Yeah, it's like if you even if you don't really get it at the beginning, you still could find some ways to contribute, to talk with people in this lab, in this research center, to find if there's any potential opportunities. And lastly, in the senior year, we all need to do a capstone. Um, and actually, I worked with another professor, and for capstone I was thinking I want to do something like different from my previous experiences. I think it's also like a way to explore different things and develop new skills. So I would also encourage you guys to try different things and learn uh, different skills if possible in different research topics and research experiences, work with different professors. They might also have different strengths. So I worked on this project, Wetland Dynamics During Urbanization, where I worked a lot with GIS data, and I also learned a lot new stuffs by myself, navigating the whole GIS data work systems by myself. But I did like grow a lot through this process. And I also did another project in my senior year. It's also like it's actually a project that my classmates asked if I want to join them to help contribute to this project. And I think it's also really a good opportunity, since in my previous experiences I don't really do a lot about health stuff. But this research project actually offered me like more insights on health and the healthcare systems. So it's also a really good opportunity to help you build your profiles. So after talking about my own experiences, I would like to give you some tips on how to find research opportunities and what should you think about when you are thinking of doing some research. So first of all, I think don't panic. I know a lot of people are really panic, even like when they are just starting college, they're thinking, should I just started doing some research? So don't really panic. You could there are a lot of opportunities outside and on campus, you could always like find something that fits you well. Since I really don't get started not until my almost junior year, so it's actually also fine if you think you are starting like a bit late. It's always good to think about this earlier, but it's okay if you are not like starting really early as maybe some of the peers. um and and the second tip is that it's okay to just start from something small, some maybe not really challenging works. You could start from something small, and that helps you build your resume, your background, and then it helps you with some bigger projects later on. And the ways to find research projects, first of all, you if you're taking classes with some professors and you are really interested in the fields they are studying, it's always good to talk with the professors and ask them directly if they do have some labs or research centers that research projects that you could join in, and how you are interested in their work. It's always good to directly ask them. And I think school always like have some job posting on the research assistant roles, and there might also be some research centers up in the school that they also offer some posting. Yeah, so just keep an eye on those postings and see if you are interested in any of those projects. And when you are applying for research, it's really important to show your interest in your abilities, especially interest. Some professors they always think like your interest is really important to have you like worked on this project for a longer period. And also it's like more driven by yourself if you are really interested in the project. And then I also mentioned just now, like it's always good to have diverse explorations, to develop different skills. And also you know yourself better if you are interested in what you are working on. If not, like you might think of other things, trying to explore some other topics, some other areas that might interest you better. So it also enables you to see more possibilities of yourself, and also work with different professors. It's also related to if you are applying for grad school, you need some recommendation letters, and it's always good to work with different professors, and they could like all offer you recommendation letters. And also different professors may have different strengths that you could learn from each of them. Then I would like to talk about my extracurriculum experiences in DKU. So a major thing I've done, as Jeff also just mentioned, I co-authored and led the environmental health section for DKU's very first sustainability report, and I'm also the vice president of the club during my senior year. So here is some tips. I think maybe it's also helpful for you to think about when you if you want to also do some extracurriculum to build your profiles. So it's always good to lead and join some pioneering projects. That's I think schools like Harvard and some other schools they are looking for students with some like pioneering pro experiences. Um, and another thing I would like to say is that club leadership is actually something really like similar to entrepreneurship. You're like practicing a lot of skills, a lot of um a lot like you are communicating with a lot of people and help organizing a lot of things and building up like a whole club is like an entrepreneurship. You don't really need to be an actual entrepreneur to show entrepreneurship. Club leadership is actually something you are also showing your entrepreneurship. So I would recommend, if possible, you could think about being some kind of leaders in um, maybe a more academic oriented clubs that may also help you build your profiles. And I think community impact is also really important. That you could mention how your club and your how you've been working toward impacting the campus, the community on campus, and also maybe some local communities. I think that's also really important. And then my internship experiences. So I actually did 3 internships uh, like during my undergrad, but actually this last internship, it was after my all my applications. So basically during my application, I had these 2 um internship experiences. Actually the first is just after like I declared my major. So I'm not really clear about what I want to do in the future. So I just gave it a try if I want to do some environmental consulting, like monitoring thing. But I think I don't really enjoy this role, but I also know better like what I want to do and don't want to do as a career. It's always good to explore and also you know better like how it works in real life. It might be completely different from what you learn and what you think. um, it's always good to experience it by yourself. And in my junior year, I joined Coney Corporation. I was in the role of sustainability intern, and this is a picture of me and one of my colleagues, also a DKU student. We are talking about the how Coney has been contributing to the sustainability. Um, and then in my senior year, I did this Deloitte digital consulting intern role. I think this was really a good experience to help me understand how consultancy actually works. Um, yeah, I think internship always provides you some insights about the real industrial world, and you might know better what you want and don't want to do as a career. And also, after having these experiences, it also offers you some industrial insights that you could share in your application essays. Um, so here are some tips I would like to share about like how to find internship roles. Um, I would strongly recommend you to go to career fair if you have such kind of opportunities on your campus. Since career fair is really a good opportunity that you could directly talk to HRs and some company directors. Um, and you got some insights from them, and also you can introduce yourself to them to help promote yourself there. And before going there, I would recommend prepare your resume and a brief intro to start a talk, and also do some research about the companies in career fair in advance. You know, like who is attending and which companies you might be interested in, and go to the targeted companies. And you could ask better questions if you have done some research. And also it's important to follow up after the career fair. If you got a name card or email address, that you could send them a follow-up emails to ask to introduce yourself, and then remind them who you are and what you might have discussed in the career fair, and what you are looking for. Um, yeah, it's also important to follow up. And apart from career fair, there are some other ways you might think of. some job hunting apps, and the campus career services. They might also have some posts on the internship positions. And also you can talk to campus career services about some referral opportunities. I know my school, they do have such kind of opportunities. But I would encourage you guys to talk with them more and ask if they also have these kind of things. And alumni referrals also is a way, if you know some alumni who is working in this field and they are in the companies you are interested in, it's better to like reach out directly and also know about like what they are doing, and some potential referrals is also really a good way. And then actually I've talked about like my experiences. It's also like how maybe you guys understand better how I could prepare myself and for master's application and what could be done. Some of the experiences that could be written in the resumes. So I hope this could give you like a basic ideas, some basic ideas on what you should prepare yourself during maybe this time of your college. And the second topic is that is navigate the application season. So here are some tips I come up with. So first, the when you are applying for school, you might need to search for programs to select the programs you want to apply for. So first thing you might think of is the region, whether it's like in US or some other parts of the world. It might depend on a lot of factors, including like where you want to work afterward. Maybe like coming to the US, you also have like opportunities to stay and work afterward. So decide the region and also your field of study first. And then I would recommend you to talk with and consult the upper class students who has just like went through the application season, or some alumni who are in your field, about their applications, to get some basic ideas of what schools they've applied for, and what like the general situation is, since they know very well in the field you are studying. And then I would also recommend to do some research online for grad school programs. You can search for like the top programs in like your field, and also balance the ranking of the schools and programs. If you are also looking for some high ranking schools, you can check the graduate program list from those schools and see if there's anything that you are interested in and your background fits well that you could apply for. So I think do some research, and then here comes the step of narrowing down, like what other outside, and then is to think about narrowing down, have some of the programs as your like some which are your top choices, and some schools you maybe it's safer, you are more confident about that you could get into. um and also I think it's really important to plan ahead of time. Since I'm also like an international student, I need to think of taking TOEFL and IELTS tests. Though I know DKU has like this wavering system, that like, since we our teaching language is English, so we have like a wavering system. We don't need to actually take TOEFL and IELTS in most of the cases, but some of the schools still don't accept that. So it's safer if you take this test. And also the GRE test. I know like some of the schools are making it required like in this year, and I would still like recommend you to plan ahead of time if you are already in your senior year that you are applying for grad school and you realize you need to take these tests. It will be a bit like in a hurry since you are also busy with a lot of other stuff. So you might think of it like in your junior year or even earlier to get prepared. Um, and then in your application season, I know a lot of things are going on. It's crazy. So keep track of every deadlines and set some internal deadlines for yourself. Um, and also like, and it might be a really stressful, so just calm down and find your own pace. Don't let like others, people are always like talking about applications in the application season, but just like keep in mind, just find your own pace. It's okay. Um yeah. And then I would be very specific about the admission process for Harvard. This is like things you need to prepare from a CV or resume, statement of purpose, and transcript. I would like to especially mention this here. So since I graduated from an international institute, and Harvard actually they require all the international institutes outside of US and Canada and also other like English language speaking uh countries to have this World Education Services WES evaluation. And you need to think about this earlier since it takes up to a month to have the evaluation done. And you need to plan ahead of time to ensure it's ready like before the deadline of application. Um, yeah, and also the standard test scores. I know GRE is required this year, and TOEFL IELTS they also have some minimum requirements. And this course is like it's required for international students. And maybe DKU has like a waiver system, but generally it's required for all international students. Sorry. And recommendation letters. Normally it's like 3 recommendation letters required. I would talk about this more later, and then fill in the application system. So actually, Harvard don't really have like any interviews. Like it's generally just submit all these documents, all these materials, and the deadline is December 1st, I remembered, and just wait for the result. That's it. So then I want to work you through some of the materials that you need to prepare for your applications. And I would go one by one from CV and resume and some other materials to give you some tips on how you could like prepare for applications, not just for Harvard, but for any other schools that you are applying for. So first of all, for CV and resume, I would recommend using a template. So I think normally schools would provide somehow like a template from the career services, or you could find a more like professional templates online. I would recommend using that instead of creating one yourself. And then actually there are differences between resume and CV. I actually have 2 versions of them. Resume is actually more most time for job hunting scenarios, they ask for a resume. And for some research, more research oriented roles, they always ask for a CV. In CV, they ask you to list your your publications, as well as like more detailed research experiences. But resume might prioritize your working experience, your professional experiences, and resume needs to be really concise. It could just be 1 page, and CV could be 2 pages, and even more if you have more things to show. there, and it's really comprehensive. You can talk in more detail about your research experiences and some other things that you all you want to mention. So actually, I prepared both of these versions, one resume and one CV for my applications, and I would decide if it's a more career-oriented program, I might just go for go for the resume. And if it's more research oriented, I would send the CV. So it depends. And CV also shows in more details. But also some schools has some requirements. They said you could only submit one page, then just go for resume. Just let you know there are differences, and I would recommend creating both versions to show like different strengths of your experiences. And then keep a balance between professional experience, research experience, and leadership and services. Um, and also for different programs, I would recommend you also tailor your experiences according to the programs. Such as for some programs, they might prioritize your professional experiences, then you might switch the order of your professional and research experiences, and also elaborate on some specific experiences. Still like tailor your experiences according to the program itself. And here are some of the tips when you should think about when you are writing the bullet points in your resumes. So you might heard of this, the STAR model. When you are describing your experiences, it's important to mention the situation, task, action, and result to have like a complete story. And then use the uniform patterns. It's always good to start with action verbs and use more diverse action verbs to when you are describing your experiences, and also have different bullet points displaying different skills or abilities. Um, some might be communication skills, your organization skills, your like research skills. It also could be like different things, and be specific in showing your abilities by giving some very brief examples. It could help the audience understand better like what you have done. And I think this point is really important to emphasize and quantify the results. Sometimes it's really easy to ignore the results in internship and research experiences. You just mentioned like what I have done, but sometimes you might ignore like what the results, what the outcomes are. So here are some of the like things you could think of when you are describing the results. So things like how many reports you have developed and how much value you have brought to the team or the company. And sometimes maybe there are not such kind of things like to quantify. You could also mention whether the clients are satisfied and or their feedbacks. It could all be the results part. And I would recommend use numbers to quantify the results, since numbers are really intuitive in the resumes and it stands out when people are reading those just in a short time. So you could quantify how many items and the frequency and also how long you've been doing that. So this quantifying process is really important to help you show like the results, what you have done, as well as the results. Um, then let's move on to the statement of purpose. Here is an example of the program that I'm currently doing. An example of the statement of purpose. Bullet points. You need to cover these things in your statement of purpose. It's normally uh like how have you prepared, and your interest, and then your career plans. This is like a normal like statement of purpose would ask And I actually would provide you with a structure that I've been like summarizing after like writing like a few of those statements of purposes. I come up with this structure myself, and I hope this could be helpful. So first is to mention like why and how I'm passionate about this area that I'm studying, I'm applying for. It might be something that some topics that I'm really interested in, or some experiences made me interested in this field, and justified with your previous experiences. And the second step is to mention what your mission, your vision is, and what you have done to achieve this. By now, for example, I'm interested in environmental health. So I've been like working on the sustainability report, environmental health section. So that's like what I have done to achieve my missions. And also the third point moves on to the program itself. So what I want to achieve in this program, how we are fitting with each other. So how this program will help me realize my vision. Um, for example, there are faculties, research that are like about what I'm interested in. So I could mention that I want to join this project because I'm interested in some of the professors' research fields, and I hope to like also contribute to some of these studies. And lastly, after completion of this program, what is your envisioned path? How this program would help you with your career goals and what you can do to make a difference. That's also like the schools are looking for. They hope to have you like they hope to see like what you wanna do achieve in the future to also I think yeah, that's really important for the school. That's a way like they see like how you could contribute to them. um yeah. And also some of the tips is you might think of starting with a hook, a story, like how you decided to get into this field, how why you're interested in this field that you're studying. Start with maybe a story. And also I would strongly recommend you to do some research for every programs you're applying for, and to know like um, mark the professors and research and resources that you are interested in this school, in this program, and how like your background are fitting with the resources that they are providing, and how you could contribute to their research as well. And I would also recommend you to tailor each essay for every different programs. Even you have like a general structure, it's really important to elaborate on some more related experiences and your thoughts, your insights about those experiences when you are applying for another different program. And also, I would recommend to seek for advice after writing each essay. I would always went to the writing and language studio in my school. So I would also encourage you to do similar things, to have some advice from the language professors, or use some online resources to seek for advice, as well as ask your professors to help you to read your essay. Um, your friends could also be a resource, and have them help you read your essay and offer you some advice and revise and polish it for a few rounds. It could help you get more ready with what you are writing with. And the recommendation letter parts. So first I would remind you like who you can think of to ask for recommendation letters. So first the research, if you are doing some research with some professors, you could ask them if they are willing to offer you a recommendation letter. and also your capstone mentor, your internship mentors, and the professors you took class with. If um, you are really leaving a good impression on them, and they are they know you very well. And even like if you guys are doing some research together, it's definitely a good resource you could ask for the professors. And how you could approach them. So first, I actually sent an email to all the professors that I'm planning to like ask for recommendation letters at like early September. Like it's in the early stage of your applications, and you tell them your plans. You're applying for like maybe how many schools, and you can give them a list and ask if they are willing to offer you recommendation letters. And also, it's important to offer them more information about you. You can send your resume and maybe in the essay, the application essay, if necessary, to help them know you better, and they know like what they need to write in the essay, in the recommendation letters that they are writing. And you might also remind them if it's like long ago you worked with them, you might also remind them in the email that what you have done with them to refresh their memories on what they have been working with you. And lastly, how to ensure like they are actually submitting your letters on time. I would recommend send reminders every 15, 7, 3 days. And if they are still not submitting one day before, so still send them reminders. And you could also ask the professor's preference if they want to also set calendar reminder to remind them automatically for the deadlines. And lastly, I have just a few tips on how to build a competitive profile. I think GPA is still really important, though I know I don't want to put too much stress on you guys, but GPA is really something I think schools are really prioritizing, even though you have like a lot of other experiences. GPA still is a key factor that they would decide your admission. And plan ahead of time, especially for standard tests and some other things, research, internship, roles, plan ahead of time, and just balance different experiences to have maybe some of these experiences or on your profile makes you like a more competitive candidate. And lastly, I would still say enjoy your life and good luck. College life is really an important time of your life, and just enjoy it. Spend time with friends, support each other. It's something that I think I would, looking back on, I would still feel I do hope to spend more time with friends, even in some of the busiest times. Um, that's the end of my talk. So feel free to ask any questions.
Good evening. My name is Elvik, and I have one question regarding GPA.
Yes, go ahead.
So in Uzbekistan, we have presidential schools who have curriculum of Cambridge, which have A levels. But grading system is Uzbek. That is why, like, it's a bit messed up. That is why, like, even if we get 90%, we get like B or something like that. That is why, if we get higher mark in like the A level, will it change our GPA or like opinion of admissions officers regarding our GPA?
Since I'm not really like familiar
Okay.
with the system.
Let me jump into the conversation then. Elbe, can you please elaborate on your question? Like, what's your specific question?
So Can A levels affect our GPA?
It
Or
will affect your GPA because it will show your academic, like how academically ready you are for the university.
so if our GPA is low and we get A plus or A from A levels, will it go up?
It might help you to boost your GPA.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, you're welcome. Fazila, go ahead and ask the question.
Hello, everyone. My name is Fazilat, and I am now studying at the third year in the University of World Languages in Uzbekistan, and my major is translation studies. Well, my question is, I'm gonna change my major in the future to another degree, and I'm currently working on research programs, but the thing is that what I am doing here is really small in comparison with international students. Let's say what students in Canada doing or what students in England are doing. So my question is, how can I stand out with my profile? Let's say if it's ordinary one. Let's say I'm doing ordinary things, but of course they can be impactful in my community or they can show leadership in my community, but they cannot be in a global scale. So is that the problem?
Well, I don't think it's a problem. I think it's always good to show your impact on the local community. That's also what the schools would always like looking for. They want to see you actually doing things to impact the like people around you and the local community. I think it's really important. You can just like keep up with your work. Not like everyone's doing really big things, but small things really also matters.
And I've got another question as well. Thank you for your answer. In your essay, so in our essay, we should show professionalism. But I heard that it really differs from the personal statements that we write in motivational essay for a bachelor's degree. That master's degree differs from the bachelor's degree. And we say we should use hooks, but hooks that we use in personal statements are mostly emotional. They show kind of a narrative style. But what about for the master's degree? Should it be formal or also, yeah, like bachelor's degree? I don't know how to craft my essay.
Yeah. So you mean for the hook? I would say it's okay. Just it can be something informal. I also mentioned some like childhood memories, like how maybe some environmental issues has been impacting me for a long time. So it could still be something not like very formal. You can just start with something interesting, how like a story about how you are interested in this field back in time. It's always good to have like something interesting and good.
Thank you very much for your answers and taking time and sharing your knowledge with us. I'm really glad to see you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Mm.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you guys for coming and thanks for having me today. Well, I think it's really hard to change your major once you get in. Actually, like you can still have some flexibility like in your school, like you can change the track you are doing, but generally you cannot really change the field you are studying. For example, I'm in the public health school. I could still have some flexibility in exploring like other tracks in my school. But if you are thinking of going to another program, another school, it's almost impossible for master study. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, the session was very informative, full of knowledge.
I hope it's helpful and best of luck, everyone.
I think we can wrap up here, right, Christy?
Okay, yeah, if there's no other questions, we can wrap it
Eh,
up.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys, for join. Oh, there is one more question. Are there any big
Okay.
differences between your previous institute and your current one?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I went to DKU for undergrad and now at Harvard. DKU is really a new school. So we're actually still building up a lot of things, and you have like a lot of more opportunities to start something from scratch there. I think that's also something really important. And however, Harvard, it's like it has a long history, so something has already been like built up. There's really like a systematic thing here. So you can really like change a lot of things, but you could also like contribute and join a lot of the initiatives here. So I think it's different, but also I think DKU is really a global community. We have students from all over the world. And also, I think currently in the school at Harvard, there are also like it's also a global community. But I think the connections at DKU is closer. I felt maybe for undergrad
Yeah.
and people know each other pretty well. And we have better connections. It's kind of still different, I would say.
Yeah, I would totally agree with this statement. It's like the DKU is quite small if we compare it with Harvard. There are a
Yeah.
lot of students in Harvard, but at DKU we are like we know everyone like here. Sophomores know every sophomores, juniors know every juniors, or even like everyone in campus. Okay. Okay, we can wrap up here, I think. Thank you very much, guys, for joining this webinar. Thank you very much, Christy. I personally wish you good luck in your studies at Harvard and stay
Thank you.
safe in Boston. I'm also flying to North Carolina next semester, and we could also catch up in Boston someday next semester. Thank you very much,
Yeah,
guys.
sure.
Thank you very much, Christy, again. See you. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you, guys. Good luck.